Welcome to another edition of Strategic Moves with Lou, and here with us we have a guest, and his name is
Kolter Lukert with Guaranteed Title.
And he's here to talk to us about how everything works over at Guarantee.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Lou. One of the main things about title companies is just the process of getting the sales contract completed first, and then having your real estate agent send that contract to the title company along with the earnest money and all that good stuff. And then the title company should pretty much take it from there. We will research the title of the property. The title examiners do all that. And then from there, we prepare a title commitment. And then that title commitment is sent out to the buyer's lender and also the buyer. And the title company will also take care of any curative issues if there are any, like abstracts of judgments, liens, or any kind of mortgage payoffs. We take care of that as well. And then once the lender's all ready to go, we will prepare a settlement statement. Yep.
Yeah.
And close the transaction and hand the realtor will hand the buyer the keys.
Yeah, that's a smooth transaction, but it doesn't always happen that way. We were talking about the earnest money a little bit ago.
Yeah.
And you guys over at Guarantee, you guys actually are able now to take the earnest money online or with an app?
So we have an app called Zochem, and it's a really, really awesome app in that if we have a buyer in Germany or an out-of-town buyer that's buying a property in Wichita Falls, they do not have to FedEx the earnest money check to the title company.
Convenient. Yeah, that's
they
super
can
convenient.
download our app, take a picture of their check, and it electronically deposits the check into our escrow account. And all real estate agents can do that. Is Iowa Park, Burke-Burnett, any kind of surrounding towns they don't want to drive to the title company.
They can just do it themselves.
The real estate agents can do that as well. Save them one trip to make and one less thing they got to do that day.
Yeah, that's one of the things that we wind up doing quite a bit is running around. I mean, we already have to show properties, and you're showing like 20 properties in one day, and then all of a sudden now you got 5 contracts to go and deliver to different title companies, and so you have a lot of work to do. But so that makes it very convenient. And let me think. We had here Jody last time, and she was telling us about the different types of deeds.
Uh-huh.
And we had talked about a ladybird deed,
Yeah.
which is something that I had experienced recently, which was very fun.
Uh-huh.
But what are some of the main issues that you guys wind up with problems? I mean, I know that there's affidavit of heirships, and some of those, when they're prepared by individuals, they can be done wrong.
Right. We have a lot of online attorneys these days that will Google certain legal documents and try to kind of do it themselves to maybe save a few bucks. And all I have to say for that is you get what you pay for. So you may think you're saving a few bucks, but in the long run,
It might be causing more problems.
once it hits the fan, the title company having to undo that and maybe fix it might cost you double what you thought you were saving.
Right.
So using a local real estate attorney is key. And also, I would say to encourage people that or if you're in a family situation, for your mom and dad to get a will. Because when you're able to probate a will, it saves a lot of time and money, and when it comes to maybe things not being the way that they think it should be in the end when somebody might pass away. So
right, because that's one of the main issues that we wind up finding in this type of world is estates and those types of transactions wind up being just a little bit more complicated.
And siblings
Heirs
not
and,
getting along and trying to
All
find
that
one that they hadn't
conflict.
seen in a while.
Yeah, exactly. I remember I had one transaction, it must have been about 4 years ago, that had like 10 siblings, or not 10 siblings, but 10 different heirs to one little tiny itty bitty property. And there wasn't a lot of equity in it, but it wound up being a bit of a nightmare because we couldn't figure out who had died and who
Right.
was still.
We call that going down the rabbit hole because you don't really know what you're going to find. But once you get down in there, you might have another rabbit hole to go down. And then you just got to keep working at it to get it to the point where that buyer knows that there's not a chance that some unknown person is going to knock on the front door and say, "What are you doing in my great-Grammy's house?"
But that's where you get the title insurance.
That's right.
So once you guys, once it goes through your guys' underwriters and you're able to make sure that that's a clear, free and clear title, you guys provide the title insurance on there. So if there ever is an issue like that, you guys can cure it. Or
that's correct.
I don't know the correct terminology for it, but.
Just like anything, you would just put a claim on your insurance policy, and the title company would take care of it from there.
That's very good.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of any other issues that the escrow fees. Whenever usually title companies here in town, their escrow fees are fairly reasonable. I mean, I don't think that you guys charge more than like $200-$300.
Yeah,
was it
$200, $250 a side.
Per side. Yeah. So what are some of the advantages of doing that versus going to a title escrow company down in the Dallas area or something like that?
It's amazing how the escrow fee can change so drastically just driving 2 hours south. So, yeah, I would encourage anybody to make sure that they're using a local title company, not only because they can save money, but I feel like when you can walk into somebody's office and kind of look them in the eye, if you're having an issue with something, you might have a little bit more accountability as far as like getting your closing date the way you want it and when you want it. And if you have any problems, you can address those, face to face and not be trying to call an office a couple hours away and not ever really speaking to the person you need to speak to because you don't even know where they are.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's right.
Or and I mean, one of the reasons I think too that their fees are so high, even 2 hours away, like you say, is because they don't have direct access to our file clerk here at the Wichita County, correct? So they still have to request title work from another title company
I think it's just cost of living. The buildings that they're putting their offices in and the way they live in, the Dallases, the Houstons of the world, just like Los Angeles, I think it's more so that we don't have a whole lot of those transactions, but at the same time, just like that, mortgage companies are the same way. When you go online to get a mortgage loan, you could be opening yourself up to quite a few problems that you could not have just having the ability to walk in your mortgage lender's office across the street.
That's a good point, too.
And looking them in the eye as well.
Because their loan origination fees can also be pretty extensive if they're, if you go outside of the local area, their loan origination fee can be up to 1%. But most of the ones here in town, when we talked to Ben Young last time over at American National Title,
love Ben. Yep.
Yeah, he was telling us that their fee is $600. But meanwhile, if I've some transactions that I've gone through with Quicken Loans or even USAA. Their loan origination fees are sometimes twice that.
Yep, and sometimes the online mortgage lenders don't seem to quite make it to the closing table. And you have a buyer
you struggle a lot more
who just paid for an appraisal, and now they're having to try to transfer the appraisal to the local lender that can get it done. It's crazy how when you are treated as a person, the difference of customer service as opposed to treated as a number, which would be kind of something you would find online where you actually never meet your mortgage lender.
Right.
You don't know where their building is.
One of my agents that has a transaction right now that's been going on for probably about 6 weeks longer than it should because they went with an online lender.
They're essentially just standing in line and waiting for their turn. That's right.
Because everything goes into a queue.
Yep.
And then you just got to wait for that.
We'll get to you when we get to you. Yeah. And that's not acceptable.
Right. They don't just serve us here in Wichita Falls. They service all of the state of Texas, sometimes even further than that.
Yeah.
So
I think a lot of times they don't realize that, people are boxing up their whole lives and putting it into a truck and moving somewhere. And they just don't understand that, we can't close today, we'll close next week. They don't understand the impact that might have on a family and, if they've got dogs and, it's just, it's not that easy just to move a closing a week out when you're ready to go today.
Right, right.
So.
I mean, in our contract, it says time is of the essence for a reason.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
Well, is there anything else that you wanted to tell us about Guarantee?
We just really focus on customer service, and we are very involved in the community and trying to help out where we can, and we'd appreciate you guys to use us if you can, and we just...
Do you guys specialize in any one type of transaction, or are you just a jack of all trades?
Jack of all trades. We were established in 1903. I think we're older than the post office in Wichita Falls. So
really,
we've been doing this a long time, and we love being there for you guys and making a difference in the real estate industry.
Yeah. You guys have definitely helped me in my career. I think, if I remember way back when, I think you were my second transaction.
Wow.
I closed my second transaction with you. My first was over at Archer, and I can't even I don't even remember why it was over at Archer, but I do remember closing with the lady over there.
We've been doing this a long time.
And then the next one was with you, and I think it was my first transaction where I had both sides, and it was Tinker Trail. That was my
cool.
Yeah.
Get you remembering stuff.
So I met you pretty much like the first.
Well, I'm glad to see us both still in it.
Yeah,
we love what we do.
We're still ticking away.
Yep.
Probably for a little bit longer,
hopefully.
Yep. Especially if Amazon doesn't kick our ass.
Yeah.
No, not Amazon. Zillow.
Zillow.
Zillow. We're having a little bit of a struggle with Zillow right now.
I've heard.
Everybody's kind of had a little bit of a freak out. But I think everything will work out. It'll just force us to kind of, put our boots on the ground and just
adapt.
work a little bit harder and adapt and maybe change some ways that we do business. Mm-hmm. But I think it's all for the better. And,
Me too.
And I think too, people will eventually start to see the benefits of having somebody that's local versus contacting, because that's another online process.
That's right.
If you contact somebody local, you're going to have somebody that's familiar with your market, mm-hmm. that's familiar with how it works here in Wichita Falls, because Wichita Falls is even though we are a big town, we still take care of each other. Yeah, I always tell people have that small town feel.
We're a big town, but at the same time, we have a way about still holding each other accountable for their actions. Like you may not do something to somebody here that you would do in Dallas, because there's a good chance you might run into them at the grocery store next week.
Or it might be on Rants and Raves.
End up on that deal. So I love our town. I love our community, and I think we're very blessed to be here and be able to work here as well.
And we've gotten so lucky that we have been able to maintain our economy so well, because other people are struggling so much here in Wichita Falls. We're still trucking away. Our market is still running. So transaction-wise, the market, how many have you been able to kind of more or less feel for the transactions? Like, is it slowed down a little bit, or
not
are we
for
still
us?
Like
we have just been trucking right along, pretty much all the way through COVID and all through everything we've been through in 2020 and now 2021 is turning out to be quite a gem of a year as well.
Everybody was like, "Oh my gosh, I can't wait for 2021." Day 6, no.
Yeah. So, but we have a really good team at our office, and we all really support each other very well. And so, it's not been easy, but we have made the best out of all of it.
Right. So as far as like the closings and stuff like that, it really hasn't slowed down.
Not for Guarantee Title, it hasn't.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it hasn't for pretty much anybody.
I can't speak for anybody else, but
I mean, as far as like real estate is concerned, I cannot believe how much we're still selling right now. And then I did a little bit of a search last night, because I had a client that was like, well, I'm looking for anything. And, I did a search on MLS, and literally we have 109 listings active right now.
Inventory has been
Yeah, from everything. Like 5
unforeseen
yeah.
issue for sure. But it's a good problem to have too, because those things are flying off the shelves like hotcakes right now. So if you've got a good house and springtime's around the corner, flowers are about to start blooming, sun's about to start to get out. Yep.
We need the listings.
Call your real estate agents and sell it while you can, because this is a good time to do that.
Yeah. I have a feeling that it's going to be like this for a while.
Yep.
I don't think that our market's going to really, like our market values and stuff like that, I don't think that market values are really going to change right away. I mean, it might be in a year or two. Right now, our foreclosures are at a moratorium, so until that moratorium releases, and even then, when it does, it's still going to take about 6 months for the market to really start to keep, to bounce back.
Big bottleneck on that.
Yeah,
once it opens up for sure.
I'm looking forward to it and not looking forward to it at the same
It'll be
time.
fun. Hey, it is what you make it.
Right. All right. Well, everybody, this is Kolter with Guarantee Title. Yep. If anybody needs to get in touch with him, you want to tell him your phone number?
Yeah. Our phone number at our office is 940-696-2600, or you can visit us on our website at guaranteetitle.net.
Well, thank you for joining us in this episode of Strategic Moves with Lou, and we will be back with you in just a minute.
Welcome to Strategic Moves with Lou. I'm Mike Hendren. I'm a broadcaster here in Wichita Falls, Texas. I'm also a licensed real estate agent. Welcome back. We're glad to have you here for another edition of this. And we got a few things to talk about. The one thing that I really want to focus on right now is the market conditions, Lou. This situation that we're in.
Slim pickings.
It is. You said there were 108 listings?
Yesterday.
And that's
active.
5 counties, folks.
Active, like not in contract or with option or anything like that.
When we say active listings, we're talking about residential properties that are for sale and available.
In 5 counties.
Now,
Henrietta, Archer County, Clay County,
Wichita County,
and then some of Wilbarger and some of Montague. But those 3 are our primary counties.
So Wichita, Clay, Archer are our primary areas that we focus on. Now, when you think about the population, so you look at the populations of these counties. Collectively we're 120. Well, we're about. I think we're probably closer to 108 to 110 now in Wichita Falls proper. I know our population has gone up some.
And then Burke Burnett might have like 8,000 or 9,000.
Burke Burnett's about 10. Iowa Park's about 6,500. Electra's about 3,000, I think, 2,500.
So maybe more like 150 altogether.
Altogether, 150, 160. Now, you think about that. You've got people that want to sell their existing home and upgrade to a bigger home, a nicer home. You've got people that, that are just, maybe they've not been homeowners ever. Maybe they've always been a renter. But now they're in a position in life financially and so forth where they want to be a home owner.
And then rentals, we only had like 20.
Yeah. Rental property. People will call us all the time looking for rental. Hey, I need a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home, and I need it under $800 a month. And all you can say is,
"Good luck."
Ooh.
That's
yeah.
I mean, it's you're not going to get anything under 800. I mean, a 3-bedroom, 2-bath under 800.
My experience
Not
recently has been just looking around the market and looking at what's available. If you want to get into a rental home, not an apartment, a house, you want to get into a rental home, a house, a stick-built house,
single family home, you probably need to be prepared to spend closer to $900 or $1,000 a month. In all honesty, if not, yeah,
and maybe even a little more.
There was a couple yesterday because I did a search for another client of mine.
Yeah.
Yesterday I did a search and there was like 1 or 2 that were 8-bedroom, 3-bath. I mean, 3-bedroom, 2-bath. 8-bedroom, 3-bath.
Yeah.
3 bedrooms, 2-bath, and but it was in Henrietta. I mean, it was in Electra, and it was $875.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
$875
in Electra.
And there was a time when there's no way you could have rented anything in Electra, Texas. You couldn't have commanded $875 a month. That would not have happened. Just a few years ago, that would not happen. And that's not a slam on Electra at all. It's not. It's just the reality.
A dry market, yeah.
The market, the what you can get for a property, whether it's rental or if you're selling, has increased quite a bit. And it's supply and demand. It really is. That's what's driving a lot of this is there ain't a lot of supply. There's a lot of demand, and property values, we've seen tax valuations go up. My own personal home, I saw a $17,000 valuation increase in one hit in 1 year.
Yep.
1 year.
Taxes next year are going to be pretty high.
I think so. So values are going up. Now, likewise, I think when you look around our market, incomes have gone up.
Yes, we do have, employment has been pretty healthy here.
Yeah, and matter of fact, we've been in a situation for a while, Lou, where we've had job openings that could not be filled. We didn't have enough bodies to fill the jobs.
We have a lot of people that are relocating here too, like
right.
retiring here.
Yes,
because apparently Wichita Falls is a good place to retire.
Well, it is.
The cost of living. When you take into account the cost of living.
We consistently make these lists of cities that are very affordable, especially for the retiree.
Right.
You've got a fixed income of $4,000 a month, $5,000, whatever your income may be. And that's what you got to live on, and you're budgeting it out. This is what I'm living on every month from now until I die. This is a great place to retire because you're getting a lot of value for your money, and it's very affordable. Getting back to the supply side, though, on houses, with 108 listings and a population as large as we have, and more people moving to Texas every day. And not everybody wants to relocate to Dallas. Not everybody wants to relocate to San Antonio or Austin. Right. Some people want a smaller community, especially if they're retiring. They don't necessarily need a large city. If they're not looking for a new career or whatever, maybe they want to retire to a smaller community. And Wichita Falls is a great place to do it. The Wichita Falls metro area is a great place to do it. Well, we got to have homes to sell.
Yeah, exactly. We have a little bit of everything here. So people always complain. When I first moved here, they're like, "Why are you coming to Wichita Falls?" Well, because you've got a little community here that has a little bit of everything. I mean, you have, I don't know, 3 Walmarts, is it? We have 3 Walmarts. We have a Lowe's. We have a Home Depot. We have, a couple of theaters. I mean, we have pretty much everything that you want here. And then if you can't get it here, then you're only like 2 hours away from anything that you want to do. So it's kind of like in a perfect little location.
Well, let's be honest. Thanks to the miracle of that little thing called the internet. And that little multi-billion-dollar company called Amazon, whether you love them or hate them, you got to admit, thanks to Amazon and a host of other retailers that you can get online, if you can't get it here, you can get it ordered and get it delivered here.
Exactly.
Okay? But we've got, you take, for example, this very studio where we're recording this program is at MacTech Solutions here in Wichita Falls. They are the only Mac authorized repair place. If you need an iPhone repaired, an iPad repaired, this is where you bring it for authorized services to MacTech Solutions in Wichita Falls.
Right.
4020 Ray Road, by the way, if you're in the local area, you want to stop by. MacTech-Solutions.com is their website. We'll throw that in there.
Right.
But you can walk in here and you can buy any Mac product you want. If they don't have it available in stock, they can get it for you in a few days if it's available. Availability's been since this COVID thing hit. Availability's been a stretch for a lot of things, but we have that in Wichita Falls. We have just about everything you could want or need here. What we need, though, for the purposes of helping people relocate here, is we need more listings. We need more houses to sell.
And I think that a lot of people are scared right now to sell their home because they're not sure that they're going to either be able to find something else to replace it with. So it's created this kind of vacuum where nobody's selling right now. But then you don't realize is that right now the market values are going up exponentially. I mean, I don't know how many people are listing right now that are selling their houses with multiple offers right off the bat within the first week. And then you wind up, excuse me, then you wind up with 5 or 6 offers that are all above asking
Right.
price. So you're getting more for your, for your house than you would a year and a half ago.
I listed one recently, and I had not even finished loading all of the photographs in the MLS.
Yeah.
And already I had phone calls from other real estate agents going, when can we show this?
Yes.
Can we
had
see this
5
tomorrow?
showings in like the first day.
I had one said, can I show it tonight? I mean, it's like 7:30 in the evening. I'm putting the information in. Can I show it tonight? I said, no, you can't show it tonight. Come on, it's like almost 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Come on.
They don't realize too is that the lock boxes, our real estate lock boxes, shut off at 9 o'clock. So
Yeah.
you can't even access the key to get in.
But the thing of it is you've got so many agents they've got buyers that want to buy a house and they can't find one, or and this is another issue we've run into. Someone identifies a property they want to buy. Mm-hmm. They look at it, they love it, they put in an offer, and someone else has already beat them to it. Someone's already beat him to the punch on it, and it's
with a cash offer.
Yeah, you hear that story repeated over and over, almost daily. That I can't find anything. Every time I go to make an offer and it's already been sold, someone else has already got the winning bid on it. So it's I don't know. It's a tough situation. What are we seeing more of in terms of? Are we seeing right now of the 108 listings we've got? Is it more investment properties or more flips or family homes ready to move into? What do we got more of?
I think that we have a pretty good inventory of homes that are ready to be moved into.
Okay.
I think that the investors have already picked off a lot of the good flip homes. We might have some out there, not a whole heck of a lot, but some out there that do need work. As soon as anything gets listed, though, it just isn't.
It's gone quickly.
It's gone quickly. So especially if it's an investment type of property, we have investors coming up from Dallas and Fort Worth and stuff like that are just they don't know our market, so they're willing to pay premium dollar for. I mean, they're used to paying $200,000 for a house down in the Dallas area that up here they can get for $40,000. So they're not even blinking at our sales prices.
Yeah. I think perhaps we're approaching a point where, in terms of values, we're catching up to the rest of the state maybe a little bit.
I think that we are. I think that we are, and it's not going to change right away. So if you have a home that if you're thinking about selling a home in the next 6 months,
right,
you might need to contact a real estate agent and have us do an assessment of value. See where it's at right now in this market right now. And, decide for yourself if you're ready to sell. Because you really do want to cash in on all of this money right now that's out there.
Well, you've got a seller's market.
Right
now. You really do. You've got interest rates that are stupid cheap right now.
Some of them are like 2% and change.
I know.
2.7%, 2.75.
It's that's not going to last
3.5. So it's not really that difficult to find something else to replace your home with. Right. I mean, even if you were just to rent a house for 6 months, a year, you have to at least rent a house for a year after you sell your home. In a year, there's gonna be more inventory.
Right.
Foreclosures are gonna start opening back up, and you very well could get a house that's, in better shape than the one that you were living in, and at market value.
Speaking of the foreclosures,
lower.
I think I read the other day that the moratorium has been extended into September. Is that correct, or?
I'm not aware of September. I was aware of June.
Okay,
or July.
We'll look into that because I think they did. The administration did extend the moratorium, or maybe they've asked to do so. Maybe they're looking into doing so.
Look it up right now.
But September is something that I did read the other day, and that's. It's good and bad. It's if you're someone who's facing foreclosure, well, it's good. It buys you more time. But if you're in the business of real estate and you move a lot of those, then
it is hurting quite a few.
It hurts.
All right, so many of Texas' largest counties have suspended foreclosures for the month of April 2020 due to coronavirus. Okay, wait, that's an old one. Let's see. How long will the current moratorium were set to expire January 31st? That's
It could be something that they're just considering.
So far, right now, the only thing that I've seen is that the administration has announced that the foreclosure moratorium for homeowners is through June 31st. So July 1st is.
So July 1 would be the earliest date.
That doesn't mean that foreclosures can't happen on vacant properties. It just means that they can't do foreclosures on occupied properties.
Right. So there's just a whole lot of parts and pieces and moving things happening in this market.
Yeah,
it's not just here in Texas. It's all over the country. It's everywhere. I mean, almost every city you look at is suffering a shortage of inventory. You talk to any real estate agent almost anywhere in the country. There's very few exceptions.
Extreme. I mean, I had a client that went and bought a property in Austin, and they bought a property with cash. So that, they felt like they had a little bit more of a flexibility, more of a leg up, and more of a chance of buying a property. We wound up making 3 different offers on 3 different houses and got none of them.
Wow.
And we were well over 20% over asking price.
20% over asking.
$250,000, and we had to offer $50,000 above asking price.
Amazing.
Well, we didn't get any of those. We wound up getting one at 105 over asking.
105 above asking price.
It was listed for $255, and we sold, and we got into contract for $360.
Unbelievable. And this is a situation that was unheard of not too many years ago. You didn't hear of this stuff like this. 10, 20, 30,000 over asking. Yeah. 100,000? No way. But that's the situation we're in. So we need more listings. So if you're thinking about selling a home, give us a call at Strategic Realty. It's 940 687 689. I'm sorry.
7,900.
79. I have too many numbers floating around in my brain
That's
right
all
now.
right. We'll forgive you this one.
All right. Or you can reach out to us. You can also reach out to us online at strategicrealty.net and see what's available in the market, see what listings we've got there. And call us. Let's talk. If you're thinking about selling your home, it doesn't cost you anything to just talk.
It's free. It's 100% free.
Yeah.
And, if you're a prior real estate, prior strategic client, ask us about any kind of specials that we might be doing.
Exactly. So, Lou
Italis, sell your home.
Lou Italis, the owner broker, Strategic Realty. Thank you for doing this.
Absolutely.
We appreciate it. I think I've talked more this segment than anyone we've done yet. So
that's all right.
Anyway, thanks very much for being with us. Join us next time for another episode of Strategic Moves with Lou. We'll see you down the road.